everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliette, and today I'm going to be channeling your angels, ancestors, and guides for information you may need to know at this very moment. So let's get right into it. I'm super excited because I got this new deck, and it's called the Angels Oracle Guide, or Angels Realm Oracle. So it's a bit more Christian coded because of angels, obviously, but I think it's a welcome addition because I feel like so many of my listeners and watchers, they tend to believe in the church and stuff, and so we're just gonna go with it because I don't really have anything against the church. Really, I go to church every Christmas. And I think it's a really lovely energy. So let's just get into it, all right? Okay. Connect with me. What does my collective need to hear at this time? The cards are coming out very fast. What does my collective need to hear? Okay. The Lovers in reverse. No need to fear. No need to fear. Because tarot tells a story, right? We don't know necessarily what the cards really entail until we get into it. So don't be fearful. Let's just allow the messages to come out the way they want to. With the Seven of Cups, I'm seeing that you may have had issues being more authentic, being more true to you, taking off that mask, showing your human side, right? There were struggles in that, or you really want to burn that energy now. I think that's what you were dealing with in the last year or two. You were trying to figure out, how do I come out more authentically as myself? How do I attract people based on who I am? And how can I prevent myself from just coming off inauthentic? Because I don't think you guys intentionally do that, but I think because of your past, there's a natural barrier between you and others, and it's just because there is less understanding from other people because they just simply haven't been through what you have. And it's not to pedestalize you, it's not to make you grander than others. In reality, I think you really want to be a part of community. You really want to belong, and you really want to belong based on who you are authentically, who you are naturally, not just who you present yourself to be. Sometimes having to put on that show is exhausting, and it takes you away from that true power within you. And I think you guys can feel it when that happens. And that's why I think Spirit just wants to talk you through this kind of feeling and bring ease to you. Okay? With the King of Swords, I'm seeing that your insight, your clarity is getting much, much stronger. And it's because you are becoming more emotionally centered. I think before, your emotions would really depend on the support group around you, right? If they were doing well, you'd do better. And if they were doing worse, you'd probably do worse as well. And so now you've filled your own cup with the Queen of Cups. Notice how she's holding her own cup. And she is fulfilled with that. She is surrounded by the ocean, yes. But what makes her the queen is that she's able to hold her own cup without it being directly linked to anybody else. And so that's exactly where you guys are heading. Wow, that was a really big dyslexic moment for me. Okay. King of Swords. Yeah, there's some clarity, some truth that you are owning now. And I think you have gone through the depths of you. And it might be because of this lost love. It made you lose strength, made you lose courage in yourself. You had issues with moving forward from that. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow moving knight. And so the movement away from that energy, the pain, it took a while because it was very deep. It took a while because it really hurt in a place where you hadn't met before yet heal, and now you've done both. You've met that part of yourself. You've shown light on it. You have accepted it as a part of you. And now you're owning your entirety. You're owning the entirety of your truth. And I think you dealt with gaslighters a lot in the past, collective. And that's why I'm telling you, your defensive energy, it makes sense. To you, it might be an inability to trust others. But in reality, it is you slowly learning how to trust others again. Because you do not need to heal on other people's timing. If others are urging you to heal faster, then they are not there for you. They are there for a certain aspect of you, but not the entirety of you. And yes, loved ones can push you to get out of that zone, to get out of that heartbreak zone and focus on yourself. But that's exactly what you've been doing. You haven't been crying over spilled milk. You've been crying over your life. You had to come to a lot of acceptance about really effed up things that occurred in your life. And others wanted you to just, hurry up, heal. It's okay. Be open again. Be trusting again. Why? Because you want to do something? Because you want an in? So I feel like, collective, you have people that are trying to push through your boundaries as you're coming out of this phase of healing. People are like, do it faster so I can come in. Heal faster so I can feel more comfortable in your presence. And collective, you're catching on. You're catching on to that. You're catching on to the fact that a lot of people would just like you in a healed state so that you can heal them. They don't want to do it themselves. They don't want to do it themselves. They want you to be better so that you can take over for them. Something that they need to work on in themselves. And that is not fair to you. And Spirit is saying it's not fair to you because what you've been through is enough. You do not need to heal from what broke you and then go right back to heal the people that broke you. That makes no sense. And this anger is not directed towards you. It's directed towards the cross watchers. The people that are watching this video that don't simply belong here, that don't really understand the message, that are here to get intel, to get information, rather than here to heal, to be a part of this collective. I'm calling you guys out. You cross watchers. Collective, they're messing with your energy because they want your energy. They want you to heal because they want the healing. It's very selfish. That's what I'm getting at. It's very selfish of them, the people that are urging you to go faster. It's selfish because that's not their path. It's not. They have their own healing to do, and yet they have never touched it. But you've touched so much of your healing, and they still have the audacity to tell you to go faster. They have the audacity to look at you in your face and say, "Oh, what you're going through, that's a test from the universe." When they are not in touch with the universe, when they are not in touch with you. And so, we're calling quits on that energy. And if you don't, collective, just know that your angels definitely will. They're calling an end to this because people have been selfish long enough with you. And that's something that you need to also see. And I think I'm just saying it straight up because I think, collective, you have a huge heart. You have a big heart. But a lot of people would love to take advantage of that because they know how giving you are. They know how patient you are. They understand how abundant you are. And with those three things, a lot of people could go very far. They could go very far with that. With the resources that you provide for others, they could go miles in their lives. And you know, they all know that. But that's something for you to recognize as well. Okay? You got the ish now. So protect it. Protect it, okay? Protect yourself. Spirit did not give you these blessings. You did not align to these blessings just so that you could return to whoever and let them have it. No. Let yourself have it. No. This journey is about you, collective. And that's something you need to be aware of, that this is your journey. That yes, other people may want to put their energy into your journey because you've put so much into your own. But every person has their own journey. Every person needs to put their own energy into themselves. And because you've done that, collective, you get to move forward. You get to reap your rewards. That's how it goes. That's why you did it. I mean, that's not why you did it. You just needed to heal. And you took it like a champ. And you did everything. And karma was being served left and right. And you were like, let's go. You know? So yeah, you killed it. You did so well. I don't think you have people telling you this, but you did so well with your healing. You have surpassed a lot of expectations in the spiritual realm. Your angels and your guides, they are essentially watching you now because they're just more interested in what you have to do or what you're going to do. It's no longer following like, oh, this is your destined path, go this way. No, like, we all have our free will. We have our choices in life. And collective, the things you do with your choices and your free will absolutely like excite your guides. And it's because you take that chance on yourself. My collective, we're very brave. We're very brave people. We take those leaps of faith. We challenge ourselves constantly. And yeah, maybe right now you're in a more quiet, more stagnant phase of your life, but you deserve that too. In a good way. You deserve to rest and be still and enjoy the energy that you've cultivated for yourself. Like it's it's really important to see your beauty. Because right now, with the Empress in reverse, I don't think you're really seeing it. And I think Spirit's trying to remind you, like, you're beautiful. You are beautiful, collective. And you're stunning. Your energy is clear, pure, high vibrational. You think so positively, naturally now. And like being in your energy just feels good. I feel good right now. Like earlier I was peeved because of the cross watchers, but I think calling them out made them leave. So now I'm feeling like a lot better. And I think it's because of the energy that you exude, collective. It's your Empress energy. It's time for you to recognize that about yourself again. Okay? No more humbling yourself. No more keeping yourself small so that others can nibble at you. I don't know why. But yeah, don't play small anymore. That it's no longer about playing small. It's no longer about being small. You were only small because you knew all the other people around you were going to get triggered if you were to actually express yourself, right? I don't know why, but a story of mine is coming up. You can skip this part if you don't care about my own life. But back then, I used to be with a group of friends, and we were all like rave friends, right? We were like all besties because we did everything together except school, except work. All we did was party together and hang out. And so when you're in a party mode, when I'm in a party mode, I'm like, well, F being serious, like why be like that right now when I'm partying? Obviously I'm gonna be more like fun, lighthearted, humorous, and not so serious. But then in other instances where they wouldn't see, I would be a lot more serious. I would come off a lot more educated. I would actually be able to speak eloquently. Because when I was partying, I don't know. I just speak in a funny way sometimes. So people just, I think I did that because people kept getting rubbed off the wrong way whenever I brought up my schooling, when I brought up my education, when I brought up what I did, people would start feeling a certain way. And I didn't want to come off that way. I wanted to be approachable. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be deemed as someone fun that they would invite out again. And so after the first times of being looked at weird, or like you could just feel the energy, like it completely shifts, where if if people think like you're doing better than them, even though it's not a competition, they just start acting weird, and it's no longer like an authentic connection. So after like a couple times of that, I learned to just not talk about what I was doing outside of partying. because I wanted to be liked. I wanted all of that before. And so I played it small. I played it super small in front of the people that knew me. And yeah, that's just a little thing. So you may have played it small in front of people that you used to know. But the people that you used to know, they don't know you. They actually never got to really know you. They knew what you were going through, but they didn't know how you were overcoming it. They knew that you were shooting for certain goals, but they didn't see all of the times, all of the moments that you sacrificed to make that thing happen, right? And so a lot of people are talking. Yes, they are collective. They're talking. And it's because they now have realized that they actually had no idea who you were. And at first, people were like, okay, that just means she's fake. And to a degree, that may have been true. he, she, they, whoever you guys are, however you guys like to come off. But people's perceptions are changing because they're learning. Because they're realizing that they actually didn't know who you were. They just judged you off of an interaction, and they would only keep examples and instances that match that. Right? And just so that they wouldn't have to change their minds. Because people love thinking that they understand other people so well, that they can psychoanalyze anyone so easily. And it's like, no, because even when I do that, I have to stay open-minded, and I have to, like, even when I, like, psychoanalyze people, I will have to kind of take a step back and be like, but that's from what I know. But that's from my limited experience with that person. I always put that disclaimer in because it's true. You cannot assume you know everything about everyone, because if you assume you know everything, then you actually don't know much. And we've talked about this before. And I think that's the type of people that collective you guys have dealt with. Just people that assume they know absolutely everything while knowing absolutely nothing. And it used to just like bother you before, but I think collective, now that you're healing, now that you're coming out of this, and now that there has been enough separation between you and these people, you're starting to find it kind of funny. You're starting to like get amused when you hear about yourself, right? Because spirit keeps you in the loop. When people talk about you, spirit's like, just so you know, this person is like totally yapping. Yeah, they do that. Spirit does that. Especially with me, because I keep to myself so much that spirit does just have my back. And they just kind of come in and they're like, just so you're aware, your name's being talked about in this room and in this room and in this room. And this is what they're talking about. And it's just really funny because I think people are creating crazier lore about you than you could have ever come up with. I think people are turning you into a legend. They are. Because they're talking so much about you. And they're so focused on you, and they're just keeping tabs on you, and arguments are being had about you, and it's just, and you're doing absolutely nothing but existing, working on your energy, doing things that are good for you, right? Maybe you guys like have struggle days, and right now seems to be like some of the hardest, right? But so you're super focused on yourself. You are focused on healing. I'm just going to cleanse for a bit. Just because you guys are going through something very intense right now. And so I want to send you guys really positive, powerful healing energy so that we can all help each other out here during these times. If you don't want to accept that energy, you don't need to. If you want to, you can say I accept. But if you don't want to, that's okay. You don't have to. You never have to. So let's pull out some more cards. My goodness, spirit is really like powerful today. They just have a lot to say, probably because I haven't done a reading in a while. So let's get more messages. 4 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and Queen of Swords, all in reverse, followed by the 3 of Swords upright and the Artist. Okay. Let's see. So, with the people that you've dealt with, it seems like the things that they that they dealt to you are now coming back to them. Right? The energy you send is the energy you receive. And for a while, they weren't receiving any bad karma or, their own energy back because their guides wanted to see just how far they would go. Because it was a test. You were the test in these people's lives. And you were a huge blessing to them. You were. Regardless of what they say now, you remember all the love that they gave you when you were in their lives. And you know that you were a blessing in their lives. And because they were a blessing in yours, it worked both ways. Obviously, when things go sour, a lot of people have things to say that are more negative. But within the time that you guys shared, they knew you were a blessing. They knew who you were. They decided to mess with you anyways because they wanted to see you fall. You got one too many blessings and it made them uncomfortable, and they needed to see you get humbled. And if you weren't going to get humbled by someone, they were going to do it themselves. And that's exactly what they did. And because they took it upon themselves to humble you, to break down your confidence, to break down your relationships, to attack you when you did absolutely nothing wrong, that's exactly what they're going to receive now. Except now, because they've done it to multiple people, it's going to be 10 times worse because it's a lesson that they must learn. It is not karma because it's revenge on what they did to you. It's karma on the lack of understanding they have for others. That's their karma. That's why they built that karma, because they lacked empathy. They lacked understanding of what their actions were doing because they weren't being affected by it. But now they will be affected by it because they need to learn. They need to learn not to act like that with people. And sometimes lessons can be very cruel. And not that we're wishing cruelness. No. We never wish that on others, okay? The thing about this collective is that we don't wish ill on others, yet we come in contact with people that have no idea what wishing ill on others actually does. Because they wish ill on us, naturally, we have built resilience, we have built an ability to transmute that energy that people throw at us into blessings, right? Into more blessings. And when we are served karma, we actually sit and learn. We listen and we're like, all right, I accept it. Because yeah, I did do that. Yeah, that was not the right thing to do. And I will learn and I will accept what is being handed to me because that's exactly what I put out before. Right? And so there's a deep understanding when karma is at play because karma is a teacher. It's not something you throw at people. It's not a dagger, right? It's just the law. It's physics. It's what you exude is exactly what you attract. What you put out in the world is exactly what comes back to you. That was so dramatic. I'm sorry. But it's true, okay? And, okay, we're moving on. So, the people that dealt you this nasty, nasty energy, oh, are they feeling it now? Oh, are they going through it now? With the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse, they are in confusion. Their mental is just completely locked. They are not able to unlock any new information for themselves. Because to them, when they learn new information, it's as if they use it to try to get out of learning, try to get out of the karma that is being dealt. But these people with the Three of Swords, okay, normally I don't get this, but Three of Swords, 3 people. Okay, plain as day. 3 swords, 3 people. 3 people are getting served their karma because you came into their lives as a test to see how they treated other people. And they really showed their colors. They really unmasked themselves, right? With the 7 of Cups. These people were in a completely they were like in a disguise. No part of them was actually like authentic. They were just in a disguise the entire time because they understood that that disguise got a lot of attention. But was it long-standing attention? No. But they didn't care about that. They wanted the attention now. And so they faked their way to get it now. Like a child, you know? And actually, children are way smarter. They know how to be their real selves. People that hide themselves to this extent really dislike themselves. They use people to validate themselves only to drop them because they have to get real eventually, right? Like we all have to get real in a relationship eventually. And that's something that they couldn't do. They couldn't get real because their realness was not a likable person. For the people around them that they attracted through this falseness, they know that they cannot be their authentic self because they did not attract those people by being their authentic selves. And so in order to be around the same people, to be in the same job, the opportunity, whatever it is, they have to remain that fake person because that's the person that got all of that opportunities. But what they're realizing is that actually I don't enjoy any of this because none of it is real. I don't want to be here anymore, but because they're still in the matrix, I think a lot of the people that hurt you, they have not allowed themselves to be outside of the matrix. They fully have submitted to the matrix, and they are they've worked their whole lives around the matrix, you know, and so they're just definitely not where they're meant to be, but they don't really care because that's none of their concern as long as they're making money. But karma's coming in and they're not going to be able to receive that same amount of money anymore because they can't keep up with putting on that mask as often as they did in the beginning. And because of that, they won't be getting the same opportunities as they used to. So their stability is going to absolutely be rocked with the 4 of Wands in reverse. They will have nowhere to land. They will have to learn how to rely on themselves. And, you know, a lot of them might be like, I've always relied on myself. But now it comes to the point where you're so unstable within yourself, you need to build that stability or you will not be able to build anything else. Right? That's why the 4s are so important because it's early on in the journey, sure, but everything is built on that. And if that is not strong, if that is not secure, concrete, then everything else will fall, leading to a tower moment later in the tarot. Right? And so they're quite unstable right now, collective. And that's not to make you like sad or to make you like feel like you need to open up to them. It's so you're aware that things that you went through, the karma that you had to experience, let them experience it. Because you came out way better, right? We all do. We all learn and we all come out of it. Don't save them. Leave them where they are. Allow them to learn the lessons that they need to learn in their own lives. We're all on this journey, and we all need to be served humble pie every now and again in life, because I'm not even sure if these people have ever been served humble pie. I'm sure they've humbled other people thinking that the other people needed it, but in reality it was a projection of how they felt about themselves. And so that's even racking more karma, right? And that might be exactly what they did to you, where they tried to serve you humble pie, but in reality you're probably one of the most humblest people. Like, truly, you have a strong sense of self, but you're not like big-headed about it, where you're like, I'm the shit and everyone else should know that and treat me accordingly and give me everything I want. Like, I think you're just like, I want to meet some nice people that I can get along with, and then like, it's never to take advantage of people. It's just like, I would love friends to hang out with and just do projects with. And other people are, they're more like, oh, I want that person to feel how I feel. I want that person to feel less than, so that they're more on my level, so that way I can get that person at a discounted price. Right? They want to humble you so that you're easier to deal with. Because you, as a confident, strong person, they cannot get their way. They can't offer anything to you. And so to them, the only way to get in is to bring you down, even though they put you up there. Okay, this is how it goes. They see you and you start talking, and they're like, oh, you're actually pretty, you've worked on yourself, right? They put you on a pedestal immediately, and they're looking up and they're like, you need to calm down. Even though this is you in their mind, but in reality, you're still here. And so because they see you up here, they're like, oh, I need to serve them some humble pie so that they can get down back to my level. But that was all a projection. You never wanted to come off better. You never wanted to become or like put on a pedestal. They put you on it themselves, and then they decided to knock you down. So they're fighting with themselves, essentially. Their own view of you. They're fighting their own view of you. And that's a great way to see a collective. Because, yeah, those are people's projections. It's not actually you that they're fighting. It's their version of you that they're fighting, because they don't know you like that, right? Going back to the beginning, they never actually knew you. And it's not because you hid shit from them. It's because they never asked. It's because no one was ever curious about what you were going through, how you were handling things. Are you okay? Are you doing well? Those questions were never asked. What do you like? What do you like doing? What are your hobbies? What are your main goals in life? No one ever asked you guys those questions, and so they don't know anything about you. They just knew the part of you that knew how to have fun, and then they judged you based off of that. Ain't that a kick in the head? I'm going to pull out some angelic oracles for you guys to close out this reading. Amazing Grace. I am in control of my own energy. I can't show you the images because there's nudity, but it's an angel, and it's saying I am in control of my own energy, number 17. So exactly, you are in control of your own energy, and others are not, and they're bugging. They are really bugging right now because they cannot seem to get into your energy, because that's not where they belong. They have yet to realize that that's not where they belong. They belong in their own energy. And what they have been dealing with was their own energy this entire time, because you've been gone. You've been gone, collective, working on your own energy. And yeah. Fountain of Faith. My faith is stronger than my fears. Archangel Ariel. Nature is my guide. I can show you these. So at this moment, collective, bringing it back to your own energy, getting rid of everyone else's energy for a sec. You've learned that your faith is a lot stronger than fear, because you have met so many levels of fear. You have felt almost all of them. While others are afraid to even feel them, you have allowed them to come up so that you may feel it. You've allowed them to make themselves known. And even when they try to scare you, you stand there patiently. You allow them to do their little act, the fear energy. You allow the fear energy to do its thing, and then you're like, all right, but I know that's not real. I know that's just an ant in my mind. I know that that is just not based in reality, not mine. And so your faith in your own path, your faith in your own energy is so much stronger than any fear that people could can put in you. Right? And even your own fears. I'm not even talking about other people right now. And the fears that you have in your own self, because of other lifetimes, or just because it's something that you've chosen to work through in this lifetime, you guys have actually done it. Your soul mission complete in that regard. You have learned to overcome your fears, and that was one of the biggest things that you guys wanted to be able to do coming into this life. And so, I think that's why Amazing Grace came out. I am in control of my own energy. Amazing Grace, there's this celebratory energy. There's this loud energy that's like, look at me, I'm here, I'm healed, I'm doing it. And that's just something that you're heading towards, collective. You're no longer playing small, like we mentioned in the beginning. You're spreading out. You're allowing yourself to be seen. You are making new friends. You are living your life again. After everything that has occurred, you are actually living again. And that is amazing. That is amazing that after everything you've gone through, you can still smile and hold your head high and keep yourself so optimistic about what is ahead in life. Because a lot of people, you're actually about to see. A lot of people won't be able to handle what they've dished out. A lot of people were talk, and they could not actually handle anything that they were dishing out themselves. But now that karma is setting the scales back and it's aligning, these people are going to have to go through what they put you through. And that's why there's so many cross watchers, because they're afraid. They're trying to get information. They're trying to weasel their way out of karma, as if karma even plays by the rules of this physical reality. It doesn't. It has its own set of rules. Karma is beyond human control, and I think that's That's one of the best things about it. It is beyond control of anything. It's here to teach your soul. It's here to guide your soul back to its inner knowing, and it's relentless, and it won't stop until you learn. And I think because you've learned and you've let go, now other people that harmed you are going to learn. And some of them will not be able to let go. Some of them will not be able to bounce back the way you have. The way they talked ish on how you have come back, how your energy is bigger than ever, and how annoying it is, they won't even be able to have anyone say that about them because they're not bouncing back. A lot of them are not going to be able to handle the karma that they have served to, the energy that they serve to other people. They won't be able to do it. And it's not me being mean or pessimistic or limiting about their lives. It's what I'm seeing clairvoyantly. Claircognizantly, I am understanding that some of them are just all talk. Because they've been behind a mask this entire time. If there's anything that has been dished out, it's been behind the scenes. It has never been in front of your face. Because they know. They understand how strong you are. They don't even need to... because they know that what they did to you should have harmed you greatly, but it did nothing. So they know you're strong. They know you're powerful. You don't need to prove that to them at all. What they're afraid of, or what they should be afraid of now, is their own consequences to their own actions. And so, collective, it's important that you leave them where they are. You allow them to heal. And if they try to come back into your life, you simply understand that they are trying to not deal with their karma. If they come back to apologize to you, they think that apologizing is going to cut it. They think that by doing that one act is going to save their ass. And it's not. Because there were multiple times when they were being awful towards you that Archangel Ariel actually, was trying to send them messages through nature that what they were doing was wrong. That what they were doing was not right, and that they can course correct right now if they would like to avoid major consequences. But they didn't listen because they thought they were above it, or they were too tapped into the noise of the matrix to really hear the calls of spirit. And they did not heed the warnings. Because a lot of these people, they actually got weird ass shit happening to them when they were doing weird stuff to you. And they just kind of like didn't really think about it because it was compulsive to these people. Talking bad about you, harming your image, all things that could legally be like dealt with. By the way, don't do this to people because slander is a real thing and you can get into a lot of trouble by doing that if there's proof. And yeah, so maybe some people are getting legal issues. Like people are actually gonna have legal issues. They're gonna be dealing with others like suing them, others blackmailing them even, others slandering them. They're gonna get it. Because they didn't learn. Because they thought that as long as it didn't happen to them, everything was good. But what they didn't realize was like, the way you act with other people is how others are gonna act with you. But like 10 times worse. And I don't think a lot of these people understood that concept for a while. But now they will have to live through it. They're going to have to experience it whether they want to or not. And others may be going through their first rounds of like karma, which is like really small right now. Little things going wrong, things not going their way, opportunities not opening up to them the way they used to, things like that. It's starting to happen. The doors are closing on these people. And it's because these people need to go into isolation. The way that they pushed you into isolation, the world is pushing them into isolation. Because they truly, truly need to learn that there are always consequences to their actions. That if you don't treat people correctly, others will not treat you correctly. Because that ugliness shows. No matter what kind of mask you wear, the stank is still there. You know? So, collective, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I know this is a long one and a very sassy one at it, but I think spirit just, I don't know. I think my collective is just generally sassy. I'm sassy, so naturally people that enjoy my energy, they're going to be a bit sassy. So thank you so much for being here, collective. I hope these messages brought you clarity on your situation. I hope it brought you the final like message that you needed in order to cut these people out, because their time of karma has begun and you do not need to be around them while they're going through this. Because collective, your heart is so big that you are going to feel awful about what is happening to these people, but in reality this is what they have attracted to themselves. So in spirit of this reading, this is a big let them moment. Okay? If they try to enter your life, you're like, no, I'm gonna let you be just the way you wanted to be before. I'm gonna let you be, because what you do is absolutely none of my business. Even if my name is coming out of your mouth, what you're doing is still none of my business. And so, yeah, all right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.